What is happening today, traders? I wanted to go over two stocks today. The first one being our much lovable Nio, N-I-O. And then I wanted to go over the broader macroeconomic structure or status, right? Rate cuts came in 0.25 basis points. And then one more stock that I want to talk about. Very, very exciting stock that looks like it has tremendous upside opportunity, but we'll save that for the end. I wanted to start with the one, the only, can't stop, won't stop, Nio stock, baby. As you put in a touch of bullish div here on the RSI and the 4-hour chart and on the daily, but I wanted to talk about the 4-hour because it's a little bit more prevalent and a lot more strong. The div is. So you can see here the stock dropped. I mean, what is that percent? You dropped 11.7% while also increasing 24% on the RSI. So that is textbook bullish divergence. Now, you can make multiple touches of this. So that's what I'm expecting Nio to do. I'm expecting one more drawdown to fill this gap sitting at 452 or 451, I believe. What is this gap? 447? We'll call it 450. To fill the gap at 450, but what I am expecting as well is from this drawdown, right, you formed, it's a little bit harder to see on TradingView, so maybe I'll just cover it during Webull, but you formed an ascending triangle. This is a bearish continuation pattern in which you would take your move down, your last move from consolidation, and you would stick it on the breakdown. Now, that takes you right around 419. And in case you guys are wondering, doesn't have to go all the way down there, right? 419 is the worst case scenario. But what I wanted to cover for you guys was the good case, the bad case, right? It's not looking good on the short term, but of course the macro of Nio still looks very much beautiful and very much alive. But this is your macro, or your micro, excuse me. Your micro ascending triangle. So you made a tap here at 540, came all the way down to 478, 520, and then now you're really pinwheeled at the pinnacle of this triangle. Now, if you break this down, I just took the flagpole, put it on the bottom of the flag or the triangle, that would take you to your complete move, which would be the gap fill here, sitting at that 450 level, like we talked about, right? But there's a good scenario in which you break up from this. IWM just hit an all-time high today, so that could very much bring you higher. I'm not expecting it, but I do think that the setup is there with IWM at an all-time high, your bullish div in the 4-hour, and then your MACD about to cross up on the daily time frame. Now, we know the daily cross isn't always 100%, right? The daily cross you got to fake out here, in which you went up 3% and 2%, and then you knifed, right? And you got another case here where you went up a little bit, but then you knifed. I do believe that this is a fake cross down or cross up, and then you're going to see that one more move down. You'll see one more mark of bullish divergence on the daily time frame for the RSI, and then you mark your bottom and you freaking run like crazy. And that's what I'm expecting on Nio. You haven't really done much else. Your volume is just absolutely dry here. It's insane just how low the volume has been the last couple trading days. I mean, today, right? 24 million compared to last week. Your low is 30 million. So that's insane, right? And it's been in a steady downtrend since you found this bottom. That's not what you want to see, right? You want to slap your bottom. You want to slap your bottom and then see that markup in volume, that gradual increase as you go into the test of this previous support, right? Test of the previous support, you smacked it on low volume, and now you're just consolidating with multiple doji candles. This is showing me that the bulls are lacking the strength to get back above the 9-day EMA and flip your short-term trend and get back above previous support reacting as new resistance, right? So it's going to be fascinating to see what you do here. I wanted to cover one more thing on the 4-hour chart is your Bollinger Bands, guys. Your Bollinger Bands are probably the tightest I've ever seen them on Nio. And that's going into the pinnacle of this triangle. So, I mean, your upper band is 496, your top band is 512. So you're talking about an almost 20-cent spread, right? An almost 20-cent spread. And this thing is catapulting either or. As well as your 4-hour MACD just crossed up. So that is short-term good, I guess. You're getting a lot of bullish reaction and bullish indicators pointing up. I feel it in my heart of hearts. And typically, the gut reaction, you just got to go with it. I feel like it's going to come down one more time because this is a bearish continuation pattern. So I'm feeling it. You see the daily Bollinger Bands absolutely smashing down. So that'll be something to watch. If you do have a scenario like this, where you come down just like you did here to tap near the bottom of the band, same way you had here, right? Bands are coming in. Could see that leg down, fill the gap, touch the band, wick back up, and then you run like crazy because that's exactly what happened back here. So just something to watch, right? Your ascending triangle is not great, but when we zoom out further to the macro, currently, this is your candle, this is your candle. So currently, you're still holding on to our mid band on the monthly time frame. That is huge, guys. And your mid band sits right around 495. So 495 is the price to hold. Just like we had our thesis back here, right? When you had your hardest monthly Bollinger Band squeeze on the stock ever, you saw this thing close right underneath or right on top of your mid band on Nio. And then the next month, right? Bam! You smash the mid band, touch the top band, and then close beneath it. You then poked out, closed beneath it, right? So that's the game you're playing. You're going to want to hold this mid-band, bounce off of it, because if you bounce off of that mid-band, guys, I will be confident in saying that this thing is going to make a higher high off of these lows. But it's all going to come from if you're able in December to hold this mid-band. If you don't, I think market sentiment begins to switch and you might make some kind of double bottom here. So that'll be something to watch. You can go below it as long as you wick back above it, right? So maybe next week is bearish. You go fill the gap, and then you, bam, right? You find that bounce, and Nio stock gets a little defibrillator to the heart, right? Gets a little revival, which it desperately needs because you see this volume just creaking down and down and down and down. So that'll be interesting to watch. Your band 495 is your place to hold right now, and that's just on the monthly. You can see how the stock has respected the band. So I think personally you're going to hold it as you rejected it there perfectly. Pretty much rejected it there. Rejection, 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 rejection. And then once you knifed below it, you never, from all the way from December of 2021 until August of 2025. So almost 4 years, guys, you traded beneath it, and this stock was bearish when that was the case, right? Once you're above, you see this crazy price action and the volume come back into the stock. So we're hoping to hold this band. That's going to be critical. And the last thing on Nio stock, guys, that gets me absolutely jacked, if it loads, come on, Weeble. I don't know if it's going to do it. Come on. Do the thing. There we go. Same thing as AMC, right? We're watching on the quarterly time frame, guys. We're watching your quarterly bull or your quarterly MACD, because once you get this flip, guys, it is as simple as that. Your macro is going to flip on its head, and you should see this thing begin to ramp up with volume the same way you did back here in 2020, because this was the last time IWM made its crazy run, right? You saw a lot of your smaller cap stocks come back to life. You saw money become risk on and easier to get. And that's exactly what is happening right now. You look at IWM for IWM. Come on, Weeble. Do the thing. It's not doing the thing. It's not doing the thing. If you guys made it this far, guys, just make sure to slap the subscribe button. I love and appreciate every single one of you guys. God bless, and let's get back into the video. All right, IWM traded along this horizontal resistance, 1015, 1027, and then just chopped, right? And you finally found that knife above the horizontal resistance. Now, what does this mean? This means you're at your all-time high for IWM ever, right? This is the highest you've ever been, and I anticipate this is the highest weekly close you're ever going to have. The previous times that this happened, specifically once a lot of our small cap stocks, right? We talked about it happening in October of 2020. That quarterly MACD flip for Nio. What was that, right? That was your break of the horizontal resistance and the beginning of your IWM markup. What are we at right now? Where are we at? Just tell me, guys. Just take a look. We're at the break of your horizontal resistance. In fact, you broke it, you retested it, and now you're breaking it further. I think this markup phase is going all the way up to 300, potentially. Ooh, burp, potentially 350. And I think it's going to be crazy for small cap stocks to finally win, right? For retail to finally take that win. Because they've been taking an L for quite some time. You've seen blue chips hold on to this liquidity for so long. But now that risk on assets and rates are finally coming down, I believe you're going to get this markup phase. Additionally, the Fed, Jerome Powell, said that the market are going to be buying treasury bills. This is bullish, guys. This is bullish for risk on assets as well. So I'm bullish. I don't know how else to say it. I can't not be bullish right now. It's hard. And in spite of all the fear in the market, right, the fear and greed sentiment still in the fear territory, I don't know how you can be fearful at the all-time high. Make it make sense, right? So that's what we're watching for Nio, is that bullish div, the gap to fill, the quarterly MACD. So much to love about it. But you need to hold the monthly mid band on the Bollinger Bands. So if you guys are wondering, you want to do your own due diligence, follow those indicators, do whatever you want to do, right? Not financial advice, but that's my analysis for Nio so far. The next stock I wanted to get into was Upstart, guys. This I mentioned in a quick little clip, video, short, whatever you want to call it. And you have done some significant things since that short. In fact, you're up almost 8% off of that weekly bullish div, which is why I favor it so strong for AMC, for Nio, for any stock that I see it, right? You saw a higher low on the stock, but a lower low on the RSI. Now, that's huge because while doing this double bottom formation, you also bounced off of your local point of control on the stock. So the most volume you have traded on this stock is at $35. It's exactly where you find your bottom while you cross the weekly mid-band on the RSI. So this is not an accident. This is a perfect failure swing. And I think you're going to swing all the way back up to $81 potentially, guys. So as you can see here, the volume really dries up all the way until 64. So my minimum target for this thing, right around $64. Now that is a pretty significant gain from our entry, about 45%. But don't even get me started, because if this thing breaks your horizontal resistance at $73, guys, I mean, you're talking about a bullish ascending triangle in which this thing can find new highs. Like it really can go all the way up to 473. Now that's crazy. That sounds crazy. I feel crazy even saying it, but that is within the realm of possibility. What are some other horizontal trends that you'd have to watch for? Of course, the shoulders off of this head and shoulders, sitting at 161 as your next profit target potentially, but it looks genuinely really, really good. And if I look it up on Weeble, Upstart Holdings, you are about to get your quarterly MACD cross, guys. Let me give you some examples, right? Let's look no further. What did it open? Open Door Technologies, quarterly MACD cross, boing, up 1,400%, right? HYMC, get your quarterly MACD cross, boing, up 800%. AMC is a great example. Get your quarterly MACD cross right here, boing, 400%, 400%. So these are not out of the realm of possibilities for Upstart. And I think it is significantly bullish that you had that failure swing and now you've come all the way back up and you're about to get the biggest cross on the MACD while also hopefully putting an end to your downtrend in volume. This is pretty significant, guys. So if you're unfamiliar with the stock, right, hold a tight stop loss on the bottom of this trend line and ride this thing like absolute crazy. I'm bullish on it. So not financial advice, guys. Of course, I'm not a financial advisor. Do not act or say what I do, but genuinely just so grateful for you guys. We hit 1,000 subscribers last week, and we were already up to 1,070, 1,075. So God bless each and every single one of you guys. Remember, the best is yet to come. Peace. Woo.